I'm sure many are aware of this latest news story with the Titan. Very interesting. They select this name Titan to go visit the Titanic. Let's get right to it with TMZ's reporting, and I'll break it all down.
Hey everybody, so rescue crews are desperately trying to find the submarine with 5 passengers on board that was supposed to explore the Titanic wreckage. Want to break down everything we know so far. So on Sunday, this thing called the Titan took off in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and about 2 hours into the trip is when the main vessel lost communication with the Titan. So among the 5 people on board is British billionaire Hamish Harding.
And I'll stop right there. With Hamish Harding, you get your HH. They love the duality names. H is, of course, the 8th letter of the alphabet. It's in plain sight. Let's continue.
Harding's definitely a well-known explorer. He actually also went up into space on one of the Jeff Bezos missions.
That tells you a lot right there as well. Suppose they're going to space with Jeff Bezos.
We should note Hamish's stepson, Brian, actually posted to Facebook and was one of the first people to confirm that he was on the submarine that was missing. And puzzling to some people, just a few minutes after he announced that his stepdad was missing, he said that he was at a Blink-182 concert in San Diego. Now, obviously, Brian knew that he might get some heat for this, so he said, look, you may think that this is weird that I'm at this concert, but I love music and music is healing for me.
And really important to stop right there. This is basically free advertisement for Blink-182. And here's the lead singer, Tom DeLonge, and you see the Masonic square and compass all over the neck of the guitar. And again, this is basically the Masonic Brotherhood being displayed everywhere with this news story. The billionaire, Jeff Bezos, and you see the Masonic, again, square and compass. So this is, again, like I stated many times, they always have their Masonic fingerprints in these news stories. Are Masons. They're not going to have non-Masons part of these news stories, obviously. Let's continue on here.
Now, as for the Titan itself, it's only 21 feet long. 5 passengers can go on it. And in a news piece that was done before this incident happened, you kind of saw the controls of this thing, and a lot of the parts were store-bought. They showed off a light that appeared to come from some sort of RV store, and the controller itself kind of looked like a Nintendo or a video game controller.
So you're going to have a billionaire aboard this submarine go down, and they're going to control this submarine with a Nintendo controller, and the facepalm tells you it all. And of course, you see the symbolism as well here. Let's continue.
To kind of navigate this thing and maneuver it. As I said, the search mission is getting really desperate with only about 35 hours left of emergency oxygen left in the vessel for those 5 on board, if they are even alive. We don't know if there was a power issue, if there's a pressure issue, or kind of what led to the loss of communication with the main ship. We also now know that the U.S. Navy is involved, and they have sent a deepwater lifting system to the area where they believe this thing could be in the event they find it and can try and pull it up from the ocean.
And again, it's called the Titan. With this whole entire news story and how it all works out is by design, without a shadow of a doubt. Where the story of the Titanic is based off the book, The Wreck of the Titan or Futility by Morgan Robertson. Let's take a look here and compare the fictional book to what supposedly took place back in 1912 with the Titanic. So the fictional book compared to the so-called actual events 14 years later, where in the book you had the largest craft afloat, the largest luxury liner, and both were unsinkable. Crashed 400 miles from Newfoundland. The same thing with the Titanic. Crashed at 25 knots. Very similar at 22.5 knots. Hit an iceberg on the starboard bow. Hit an iceberg on the starboard bow. So these are identical, of course. Not enough lifeboats for the passengers in the book. Not enough lifeboats for the passengers, of course, with the Titanic. More than half the passengers passed. Same thing with the Titanic. Sank in April. Same thing with the Titanic. Sank in the North Atlantic. Obviously the same with the Titanic. Sank near midnight. Identical. British-owned steel vessel. Same thing here in both. Very similar in length. 800 feet long compared to 882 feet long. 2,500 passengers compared to 2,200 passengers. So you see, basically what it comes down to, the Titan was predicted programming for the Titanic. The movie directed by James Cameron, as you see here with the orange ladder. Orange is 33 numerology. And of course, the ladder symbolism, as I pointed out many times in the past, all to do with moving up, ascension, as you see here, and of course, the black and white checkerboard. And like I mentioned earlier, with the whole entire story of the Titan, son visiting the Blink 182 concert, all the Masonic fingerprints all over the place as usual. And again, this is huge with the submarine being called the Titan. I can't emphasize that enough, how this all comes together.